Hi, I'm Warner McDermott. It's July 23rd, 2013, and this is my overview of corporate involvement with the Common Core. Let's start with the U.S. Department of Education, which funded through grants and other funding for the Common Core via Race to the Top, and handed it over to three major organizations: the National Governors Association, the CCSSO, otherwise known as the Chief Council of State School Officers, and Achieve, who have partnered to disseminate, organize, manage, and otherwise outsource the Common Core and the assessments that go with it. So let's start over here. The director of Race to the Top is Joanne Weiss, who worked with the Broad Foundation, which also has as one of its acting members Chester Finn with the Fordham Institute, and sponsored the ALEC bill called the Parent Trigger Act. The Broad Foundation is also a member of ALEC. We'll come back to them. The National Governors Association partners with Achieve for the Common Core. The National Governors Association also partners with the College Board. The CCSSO partners with Pearson for the Common Core material. The CCSSO also partners with ACT, which is funded by State Farm, which is a member of ALEC. Pearson, among other things, there's not enough time to cover everything in Pearson, so this is a broad sketch, acquired Connections Academy, which is a member of ALEC. It's actually the co-chair of the Subcommittee for Education in ALEC. It was also acquired America's Choice, which sponsored a program called the NCEE, which also partners with the CCSSO. And the NCEE is funded by Walton. We'll come over here to Walton. The Walton Foundation, which is a member of ALEC and is basically associated with Walmart, directly funds the Common Core state standards. And again, too many connections to mention. This is just a broad sketch. I want to come up here, back over to the CCSSO, whose director is Tom Lumina, to look at their connections with McKinsey & Company, which is a global consulting firm, and their big thing is called big data. They believe that big data is the answer to all things right now. And as you can see, they've got their fingerprints all over everything in the Common Core. For one thing, David Coleman, who's one of the architects of the Common Core, he created the Student Achievement Partners, which helped develop the standards, was a former consultant for McKinsey. Lou Gerstner, who was the co-founder of Achieve, was the former director of the McKinsey & Company. And Sir Michael Barber was a former consultant of McKinsey, is now one of the CEOs of Pearson. Pearson partners with the Park Consortium for the assessments. And I said they already partner with Achieve and with ACT. The Park, following this green line all the way over, has their data collection in partnership with InBloom. Now, InBloom is a part of Wireless Generation and is contracting with several states to collect the data for all the testing. The two key players in InBloom are Joel Klein and Rupert Murdoch. And in addition, members of the board of InBloom include Margaret Spellings, Jean Wilhoit of the CCSSO, and also on the board is Bob Wise. Bob Wise is the chair for the Alliance for Excellent Education, which is the brainchild of Jeb Bush. It's funded by State Farm. It's also a member of ALEC. The Alliance for Excellent Education partners with or supports the Common Core. I'm going to follow me down here to the Council for Foreign Relations, which supports a national curriculum and has been a big promoter of the Common Core standards and has had direct influence on it. They created a paper in partnership with the U.S. Department of Defense and with America's Promise Alliance to craft a paper called the Education Reform and National Security Report. And they've helped to co-sponsor the Common Core State Standards Initiative. So on the Council of Foreign Relations, we have Lou Gerstner, who was the co-founder of Achieve, as I already mentioned, and the former director of McKinsey and Company. Also on the board of directors is General Colin Powell. One of the things that this paper mentioned was the importance of the U.S. Department of Defense in overseeing and managing the Common Core. Other signers of this paper include Condoleezza Rice, and as a co-sponsor of this paper was America's Promise Alliance, which supports the Common Core. The chair of America's Promise Alliance is Alma Powell. The co-chair is Greg Petersmeyer, who is a McKinsey consultant and helped develop something called Fuse Corporation, which among other things has supported Teach for America. So Fuse Corp is one of the partners of America Promise Alliance. Who funds America's Promise Alliance? The Pearson Foundation, the Walmart Foundation, which is an ALEC, the Gates Foundation, Lumina, which is an ALEC, Boeing, which is an ALEC, Lockheed Martin, which is the world's largest weapons manufacturer, which is a member of ALEC, and the Ford Foundation. Bill Gates, this is a broad sketch because there's way too many things to mention about Bill Gates. But among other things, one of the board of directors of Wireless Generation is an employee of the Gates Foundation, and the Gates Foundation directly funded the In Bloom and Wireless network. Gates also funds the College Board, which is now run by David Coleman, who, remember, formed Student Achievement Partners that made the standards for Common Core and was a former consultant of McKinsey and Company. Where'd they go? The Gates Foundation also helps directly fund the Common Core state standards. The National Governors Association partners with the College Board. It also partners with Achieve. The CCSSO also partners with McKinsey and Company to manage the park and SBAC after 2014. This initiative is also partnered by Lumina, which is a member of ALEC. So after 2014, McKinsey and Company may be managing our children's data. Specifically, the state of Florida has potentially considered a contract with McKinsey and Company to manage the park as of 2015. I know I may have forgotten things, but again, this is a broad sketch, and there's always more than meets the eye. If I put every line on here that needed to be on here, it would be even more unreadable than it already is. I'm going to just slowly pan out so people can look at it or freeze frame it at any point that they want. Oh, I forgot to mention, the U.S. Department of Education, their key advisors for their 2009 U.S. Department of Education blueprint included largely members of McKinsey and Company and the Broad Foundation. I'll pan back out. So it's curious how much ALEC contends that it opposes the Common Core, and yet so many organizations that are members of ALEC have funded its inception and continue to promote its perpetuation from state to state. Makes you wonder.